Iain from Ranking the Obscure here. Welcome to Friday, which always means it is a live album ranking day to show our appreciation from those live albums. And today we've got a band that's probably one of my discoveries of 2025, and that is Japanese heavy metal band Lovebites. Formed in 2016 by former Detroit's members Miho and Haruna, who were the bass and drummer respectively. Change come Marodi, Makayo and Asami. Miho left, in comes Fami, and it's still the same. They've released 4 studio albums. They've got a new album out in the next month, or towards the end of this month, and they have released 6 live albums. So they've released more live albums at the moment than studio, and I'm sure when this tour gets going they'll release another one. They're all very good, and you get a good mixture of songs. They really mix up the sets. There's a few staples, but most of them, you get what they were doing at the time. So let's have a look at some live Lovebites. So at number 6 is a live album released in 2021, and it was recorded at the Dome City Hall in Tokyo, and it's called Heavy Metal Never Dies. So the vocals, this is the original lineup: Asami, Midori, Makayo, Miho and Haruna. So they start this one off with the album they were promoting was Electric Pentagram, and it starts off with, at the beginning of that, you got this little intro called The Ride for Vengeance. It's just all groovy guitar and keyboards, and then that goes storming into a track called When Destiny's Align. I mean, Haruna's drumming. She's about 3'3", something like that. But she's one of the most powerful drummers that you'll ever come across. Then they go and do a song off one of their EPs. The EP was Battle Against Damnation and the Song Crusade, which is an absolute epic. I do love that track. Back to the Electric Pentagram album, Golden Destination, another super track. Then they go to the second album for the next track, which is Set the World on Fire. Miho's bass in that is terrific. The guitar interplay between the Marodi and Makayo is brilliant. Then we have a great track off the debut album, Awakening the Abyss, Shadowmaker. Just a brilliant track. It's got lots of great licks on the guitars. Makayo and Midori just play off each other, brilliant. Back to the Electric Pentagram for Today's the Day, another solid. And then there's a track off the Glory to the World EP, which was one of Miho's last studio things, Winds of Transylvania, brilliant. Then they do a track called Spellbound, which hasn't appeared on an album. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a real fast thumping heavy metal epic. The Unbroken, another track from the Electric Pentagram. The next 2 are from there: A Frozen Serenade, Swan Song, which is now a sort of staple and a fan favourite. Glory to the World, title track from that EP. The Acropolis on the Awakening and the Abyss, brilliant. And then another brilliant track off the Clockwork, Immortality, MDO. I absolutely love that track. It's got a great beat. Haruna's drums are brilliant. Back to the debut, Awakening the Abyss, for a bit of Don't Buy the Dust, brilliant track. And then one of the best tracks off the Electric Pentagram album, The Holy War. We stay with that album for Thunder Vengeance, and we end the set on this one with a song from their Battle Against Damnation EP, Under the Red Sky, which is an absolute classic. This is a really, really good album. Now, this one was actually recorded during COVID restrictions. There's not much cheering on it, but the playing is absolutely electric. And this is probably some of Miho's last performances as well. So I'm going to give that a ranking of 8.5. So at number 5, now this was recorded in 2019 in Tokyo, and it's the Daughters of the Dawn. So it's Asami Midori, Mikao, and Miho and Haruna. So this one, you get the introduction to Clockwork Immortality, the little intro at the beginning, the clocks and then that goes storming into Addicted, which is a brilliant track. Powerful riffs. Then we get Bravehearted from Awakening the Abyss, a 7-minute epic of great licks and drumming. It's just a thing. Then we have the Battle Against Damnation EP for the Crusade, one of my favourites. We go to the debut Awakening the Abyss for a little bit of Pleasure of the Saviour. Absolutely killer track. Rising, another great track from Clockwork Immortality, followed by Scream for me from the Abyss album, Awakening the Abyss album. Break the Wall from the Battle Against Damnation EP. They play a lot of tracks off this EP. They still do as well. They don't just stick to the thing. They do mix it up a bit. Shadowmaker. And then one of my favourite tracks off the Battle Damnation EP, Above the Black Sea. It is brilliant. It's powerful, and it sounds a lot better live than studio. Although the studio version's terrific, the live version's even better. Empty Daydream from the Clockwork Immortality album. Another corker. MDO. You can't do a Lovebites without MDO. Journey to the Other Side. Another track from the Clockwork album. Brilliant. Edge of the World. Wonderful. And then we have We Are United, which is on the Clockwork Immortality. Great track. It's full of, some nice little bits where they all do their little thing. There's always a nice little play between the two guitarists, and at the end they do a pinch fist punch and all that, so it's all fun. Epilogue, brilliant, from Clockwork Immortality. Don't Bite the Dust from the debut albums, always a killer. Under the Red Sky, another brilliant. And then the little outro, The Everlasting from Clockwork Immortality. Now this live album, it just captures the peak of that early days. It's the original lineup doing the songs off the first two albums and that Battle Against the Dalmatian EP. Brilliant sound again. This was just before COVID, so I'm going to give that a ranking of 8.6. Okay, number 4. This was recorded in 2020 at the Zepp Diver City, and it's 5 of a kind. And these were Miho's final dates live with the band after, because she left in 2021. So this one opens up with Thunder Vengeance. Absolutely top draw. Haruna's drumming on it. It's just unbelievable. That goes straight into Holy Whirl from the Electric Pentagram. I mean, it's a brilliant track. One of my favourites off that album. Don't Bite the Dust is a corker from the debut Awakening the Abyss. Bit of Rising Clockwork. Brilliant. Then we get Raise Some Hell from the Electric Pentagram. Absolutely brilliant song that is. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But it's a thumper. Absolutely thumper. Break the Wall from the Battle Against Dalmatian EP is another wonderful track. Shadowmaker, always good. And then you get a little bit of Mikao on the piano, because she's a trained pianist as well, and she plays Chopin's Etude, Op 10, number 12, which goes lovely into Swan Song. I don't know how this thing, brilliant. And Addicted, another absolute corker from Clockwork Immortality. Dancing with the Devil from the Pentagram album, Signs of Delivery, MDO's on here. You just go, you can't go wrong with that. Golden Destination and Western Destiny's a line thing. And then they do the beginning of the debut album, Awakening the Abyss. They do the little instrumentation, The Awakening, which is absolutely brilliant, which goes stonking into the Hammer of Wrath, one of my favourites. Edge of the World, and they end up with We Are United, another from the Electric Pentagram tour. I mean, they really think about their sets. This is carefully balanced. You know, it's got some of them early anthems, some Awakening the Abyss, the EP highlights. Maiko's Chopin is a lovely little bit. So I'm going to give this a ranking of 8.8. Okay, at number 3 is an album. It's in 2 parts. You got It's called Knocking at Heaven's Gate, recorded in 2023. It was some of the it was the return of the band. Fami is now on the bass. So basically, they released the first one, and then they released a second one, part 2, which is the same, some of the same tracks, but with the extras. So I'm just going to concentrate on number 2 because it has the full thing. So this starts off, because it's their first gigs in 2 years with a new bass player. There's this opening. It's called The Five Coffins. It's creepy. It's thing, and it's really. And then they go open up with the start of the debut album, The Awakening, and The Hammer of Wrath, and it's absolutely stonking, that version. Thing, and they keep on that album. They do Bravehearted and Don't Bind the Dust. So they come back with a bang with 4 tracks off the debut album. Then they do a new track, which was new at the time, and it was going to come out on their new album. They were showcasing new tracks, and it's Stand and Deliver and Shoot 'em Down. And this is how they introduce Fami, because she's a great bass player. You get slap on a rock track. It's a brilliant track. It's heavy. Great vocal from Asami on it. I do like that. Shadowmaker, again from the debut. They really were showcasing that debut album on this tour. Break Down the Wall from Electric Immortality is another wonderful. Dancing with the Devil, terrific. And then we get Mikao doing her little piano bit, and this time she just ballet number 1 in G minor from Chopin. Then we get Liar from the debut. Judgment Day, one of the new tracks, another corker. And then they really go back in time. They go and do a track off the Battle of Damnation EP, Nameless Warrior. Love that track. MDO's on this, of course. As I said, you just can't do anything. And then you get When Destiny's Align from Electric Pentagram. Holy War, brilliant. Glory to the World's on here. And then the extras they do is Golden Destination, Electric Daydream, and Swan Song from Clockwork and Mortality, and Under the Red Sky from the Battle Against Damnation. And that, I end this one with Clockwork and Mortality, which is a really good version. It's a magnificent return to the sound. Fami just brings something extra. They play a couple of new tracks, a little teaser, but they really play a lot off the debut album, and it's a brilliant little thing. So I'm going to give this a ranking of 9 out of 10. Number 2 is from 2024. It was recorded at the Hatumi Memorial Hall, and it's Warrior Memorial for Warrior Souls. So it's Asami, Marodi, Mokayo, Fami, and Haruna. So this one starts off with 3 great tracks from the Judgment Day album. You get the intro, Call for Justice, which goes into We Are the Resurrection and Judgment Day. I mean, Judgment Day is just on fire. Brilliant track. When Destiny's Align from the Pentagram album, great. Another track from Judgment Day, My Orion. Signs of Deliverance. Well, they just really good. We get Rising from Clockwork, another track off the new album which they were showcasing. Dissonance from Judgment Day, Above the Black Sea, one of the best performances. Then another piano solo from Makayo. She does Franz Liszt's piece La Capena. Lost in the Jungle from Judgment Day, brilliant. And then we get a drum solo from the power rocket herself, Haruna, which goes blistering into Stand and Deliver. Don't Bite the Dust from the debut album. MDO, Edge of the World from the debut album. Soldier Stand, Solidarity, which is absolutely brilliant. The All Conquering a Hammer of Wrath, and probably the best version of We Are United. There's lots of little things going on here. You've got Asami playing a bit of piano, and they all, and you get Fami and Asami go and join Haruna at the back, and they have a little dance. It's all good fun. And then they end up with Under the Red Sky. I thought Fami's performance on Knocking Heaven Door Gate was but this is even better. She's really in the groove. She was a little bit nervous, and playing tracks off that Judgment Day album, which is hers, it's really impressive. It's top drawer. Lovebites, so I'm going to rank that at 9.3. But the number one live album for me is their most current one. It was released in 2025 and it was recorded at the Tokyo Garden Theatre in 2024, and it's called No More Tragedy. So what do you open up a show with now? Well, you do the Crusade. Absolutely blows you from that EP. It's the best version I've heard of it. Western Destinies Align from Electric Pentagram, brilliant track. Two tracks then, we got MDO and Rising from the Immortality. Wicked Witch off Judgment Day, brilliant. And then they do a track off the Lovebites EP number 2, Unchained, which I do love. Stand and Deliver, the definitive version of that. That bass at the beginning from Fami is amazing. Set the World on Fire from Pentagram. The Final Collusion from Clockwork. Thunder Vengeance from Pentagram. Holy Whale. A Frozen Serenade from Pentagram. Just solid tracks. We've got Soldier Stands, Solidarity from Judgment Day, the best version of that. Then you get the best version of Judgment Day, and then we get the brilliant version of Race from Hell. To me, this is the definitive version. And what they do on this, they go down in the crowd, and Fami is rocking it. I just think she adds something more to this song than Miho. I don't know, it's the thing. Then Haruna dives into a great drum solo. From then we get the Don't Bite the Dust, The Spirit Lives On from the Judgment Day album, Under the Red Sky, Shadowmaker, and We United closes out. This is one of those live albums that everything was right. The sound, they were on fire that night, and Fami is just lightening them up, getting everyone really fired up. I mean, she's always smiling, she's rocking away, and some of her bass lines on some of the older tracks really stand out. So this is just absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to give this a ranking of 9.5. So there we go. That's a little bit of a live Lovebites. I put a great little selection of tracks from these gigs. There's lots on YouTube, so I'll put a nice little playlist together so you can go and rock out to a bit of live Lovebites. Okay, that's all for this one. I will be back next Friday with another live album ranking. So I'll see you soon. Bye for now.